Hi, my name is Dave Wallace. I've been a member of Crossroads for about 10 years now, and I'd like to share with you a calling that I recently received. I was going to a soccer game with a friend of mine, and he had requested that I join him on a trip Pittsburgh to Washington, D.C. on a bike ride. However, the dates didn't work out, and quite frankly, I'm not much of a cyclist. I didn't even own a bike helmet, and so I didn't think much more of it after that, and I woke up around 1 a.m. that next morning, and I couldn't get the bike ride out of my head. My mind was spinning, so I was wondering if I could compress it down to 3 days, 2 days, 1 day, and I thought, well, if I'm going to do it that quickly, maybe I can raise money for something, and I can make an impact by doing that. And adoption came to my mind. I'm an adoptive parent, and it's a powerful thing in my life. So by the time I had woken up that next morning, I had the framework set for what I thought could be a really interesting thing. Went head first into an internet search. It was around 7 a.m. and my wife Erin, she looked at me and she said, "What are you over there doing?" She could tell I was really deep into something, and I said, "Hey," I was like, nothing. I just wasn't ready to share it, and I knew once I vocalized it, it was going to be for real. 5 minutes went by, and it was just weighing heavily on me that I didn't share with her the story. So I said, all right, here's what I'm thinking about. I told her about it, and her reaction was, hindsight, what I probably should have expected. She was all in. We brought the family down into the living room to watch our service virtually, and the service that day was about how if you receive a calling that you need to hold yourself accountable for it and share that calling with others. And I remember looking at Erin, I was like, this is exactly what I was grappling with just moments ago when I was deciding to tell you this story. And so she pauses the TV and she says, "Hey kids, Dad has something he has to share with you." So I shared it with the kids, and they were as equally as excited about it. And it was really touching to me that they were willing to support something like that. There was two people that were really weighing heavily on my heart that night, all night. One of them was a close friend of mine, and really one of the people that was responsible for us coming to Crossroads, Joseph Johnson, a fellow adoptive father as well. And the other one is somebody that's been very impactful to my adoptive son. It's his soccer coach, Hunter, and also a fellow adoptive father and Christian. And I knew I needed to talk to both of them about this. I want to go on a trip, but I don't want to handle any of the money. It's just not something I want to do. I want to partner with an established charity that knows how to do this. And I thought that everything else would be enough on my plate. So, I kind of ran down a list of things that I felt were important. I didn't want the money to go to just one or two different families. I really wanted it to go to multiple families. So I told her I envisioned grants in $5,000 increments, but I also wanted those families to participate and raise a matching $5,000. And that was really important too, this kind of turn that mission into a $10,000 amount, because the cost of adoption is really expensive. It can go up above $40,000. And so the other thing is I wanted it to be tax deductible, and I threw a number out there too that I wanted to raise. I wanted to raise $100,000, and that's where kind of the whole time I just kept thinking I want to get $100,000. And so the next day I called Hunter first thing. It's Monday morning, and we're on a Zoom video, and I said, "Hey," I was like, I've had you heavily on my heart. I wanted to talk to you, and I told him the story, and he's like, "I'm in." He's like, "What can I do to help you?" And so he said, "I have a friend of mine, Dave, that I really think you should talk to." And he says he's dabbled in fundraising for adoption, and that was all that he shared with me. And so we made the connection, and he and I talked later that day. And so I called up Dave and I said, "Hey, my name's Dave Wallace," and I said, "I'm looking to do this bike ride and I want to raise money for adoption." And I said, "Hunter said we should talk." He was really vague about it, and I said, "So why should I be talking to you?" And so Dave starts going to the story, and he goes, "Well, we established a charity a little over 10 years ago. It's called Gregory's Gift, and we tried to raise money to help offset families' cost of adoption." And then he goes on and he says, we do it differently fundraising, and we give $5,000 grants, and we require the family to raise a matching $5,000. And it's at this point in time, I'm like, wow. You know, I got goosebumps up and down, and then he goes on, he's like, you know, our goal every year is to raise $100,000. And, you know, this year it's going to be really difficult for us to raise any money because our fundraising activities are in-person activities. There is a gala every year that we have. I remember that moment so well because, you know, there was no doubt in my mind that that was God making a connection. And I knew that I was 100% in. And I can remember feeling the anxiety of like, holy cow, I'm going to be doing a 335-mile bike ride right now. But I can also, the excitement level in my body and in my mind and in my soul was really powerful. I can't help but look and see that he recognized the position that I was in with my network and in my passion on this to really impact this message and spread it and do it in a way that I continue to see it on a day-to-day basis of just like, wow, I've been in awe of what he's led me to do and what we've been able to accomplish.